The day Aisha was thrown out of her husband's house, the sky seemed to carry her tears in its clouds. She stood outside the iron gate of a place she once called home, her two children by her side, her 4-year-old son clinging to her scarf, and her toddler daughter resting against her chest. Her husband Imran slammed the door behind her after yelling, "Go, just get out of this house. I can't even stand the sight of your face anymore." She didn't argue. She didn't plead. Her soul was too tired, her heart too bruised. Carrying nothing but a few clothes, she walked in silence toward the only place she had left, her mother's home. When Aisha arrived at her mother's house, her mother welcomed her with teary eyes and open arms. But her four younger sisters, Saba, Mehreen, Hina, and Maham, were not pleased to see her. That night, as Aisha fed her daughter and tried to rest her aching body on the floor mattress, she heard whispers from the other room. "Now she wants to stay here. This is our house, not a guest house," Saba scoffed. "Her kids scream all day, and Ammi doesn't even say anything," Mehreen added with clear frustration. "She should leave again. Why is she still here?" murmured Maham coldly. "She's such bad luck," Hina whispered. "Ever since she came, nothing's been peaceful." Aisha heard it all. She closed her eyes, held her children close, and whispered, "O Allah, test my patience if you must, but please don't let me be disgraced." Each day became a quiet battlefield. When guests came over, her sisters made sure to say loudly, "She's divorced, just sitting here all day after ruining her life." When her children played in the courtyard, the sisters would frown and complain, "What must people think? She's always out there with those noisy kids." Even the children in the family were told not to play with Aisha's kids. One afternoon, after her son accidentally spilled water, Hina shouted, "These kids are nothing but trouble. If you can't handle them, take them somewhere else." Aisha didn't respond. She picked up the broken glass, cleaned the mess, and quietly said to herself, "Ya Allah, grant me patience. I'm not angry. I believe." Despite all the pain, Aisha still hoped Imran would come for her, for the sake of the children, for the years they had spent together. Family elders, neighbors, even the local imam tried speaking to Imran. "No matter what happened, take your wife back. Think about the children. Why punish them for your anger?" But Imran was cold and firm. "I don't want anything to do with that woman. I've already divorced her. The papers are on the way." A week later, the divorce letter arrived. Her world went silent. Aisha didn't cry. She didn't scream. She walked to her prayer mat, fell into prostration, and whispered, "O Allah, thank you. You saved me from further humiliation. You freed me. I have lost everything except you, and you are enough." Life didn't become easier after the divorce. In fact, it became heavier. But Aisha changed. She began sewing clothes late at night using an old sewing machine gifted by a neighbor. She offered tutoring to local kids and started teaching the Qurans to little girls from nearby homes. Her sisters still made comments. They still rolled their eyes when she passed. But she began to carry herself with quiet dignity. She would wake up before dawn, pray, make breakfast for her kids, teach during the day, sew at night, and still smile. She wasn't happy, but she was peaceful. One day, a kind woman named Khadija Begum, whose granddaughter Aisha had been teaching Quran, came to visit. She sat beside Aisha, looked at her worn hands, and said softly, "My son Faraz is divorced too. He has seen life and he's heard about you. He's deeply moved by your patience. He wants to marry you, but only if you agree." Aisha sat silently. Her heart raced. Her mind froze. Her mother said gently, Faraz even accepts your children as his own. He is not asking for anything but your companionship. Maybe this is Allah's way of rewarding you. That night Aisha cried for hours, not out of sorrow, but from the overwhelming feeling of being seen, valued, and remembered by her Creator. She prayed, sought guidance, and said yes. Faraz turned out to be everything Imran was not. He was kind, gentle, respectful. He helped with the kids, encouraged Aisha to open her own sewing and tutoring center, and treated her with love she had never known before. One evening, as she tucked her son into bed, he looked at her and said, You are the woman who never let go of Allah, even when the world let go of you. You are not just my wife, you are the answer to my prayer. Aisha's sisters watched in silence. They never apologized, but their eyes spoke. The woman they once mocked now walked with quiet confidence and radiant peace. Years passed. Aisha opened a small school for underprivileged children. Her story began to spread, not because she advertised it, but because her patience had left a mark on hearts. She would often tell her students, When everything breaks, don't break with it. Hold on to Allah. I had nothing, no money, no support, no shelter, but I had faith, and that became enough. At a school event, one of her students asked, Miss Aisha, what does patience mean? She smiled, eyes soft with memories, and replied, Patience is not just waiting, it's smiling when you want to cry, it's forgiving when you want to scream, it's trusting Allah's plan when all you see is pain. Final words. Aisha didn't become famous. She didn't seek revenge. She didn't curse anymore. She simply endured with faith, and Allah rewarded her in ways beyond what she had prayed for. Moral. Patience is power. When the world throws you out and your own turn against you, you don't despair. Cry in sujood, not in front of people, because Allah sees, Allah knows, and Allah never forgets a single tear shed for His sheikh. So be patient. Indeed, the promise of Allah is true. Some audience questions are here. What would you have done if you were in Aisha's place? Would you have stayed silent or fought back? Number two, have you ever been tested in life like Aisha? How did you hold on to your faith during hard times? Number three, do you believe that patience can really change a person's fate? Why or why not? Number four, have you ever felt unwelcome in your own family? How did you deal with that pain? Number five, what message would you give to single mothers who are struggling to survive with their children today? Number six, which moment in Aisha's story touched your heart the most and why? Number seven, do you think society is fair to divorced women? What needs to change? If you could speak to Aisha, what advice or support would you give her? Tell me in comments. Thank you.